Today, we're tackling a huge topic that I know many of you are struggling with: lead generation. A lot of entrepreneurs and consultants, coaches, service providers have random pieces of lead generation tactics, but no cohesive process or system in place. Sound familiar? Well, don't worry, because you are not alone. I see it all the time. I actually lived your agony myself. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to build a scalable lead generation process, the one I currently use in my business to generate over 200 leads a month, and what I like to call the ultimate funnel for your consulting business. This is a step-by-step guide on what you need to have in place to attract, capture, nurture, and convert your leads into paying clients. No more feast or famine. If you're ready to finally create a system that works while you then keep watching and let's get to work. All right, guys, before we get started with these concepts, because this is such an important topic, I want to make sure that I mention there is only so much time in today's video. So I'm not going to be able to get into the real nitty-gritty of every single one of these steps that I'm giving you. But if you are ready to take this lead generation process, build an SOP and workflow that you so desperately need in your business to the next level, then I invite you to join me in my Lead Process Lab Bootcamp. This bootcamp is open right now for enrollment, and I only do it twice per year, and I have no idea when I'm doing it in 2025. This is the last opportunity in 2024. And in that lab, I'm actually giving you my step-by-step SOPs, workflows, templates, ChatGPT prompts, swipe files of all of my email nurtures, my actual landing page outlines, all of the stuff that you need to actually attract, convert, and nurture your leads. So make sure that you enroll. It's only $47, and this is normally a $5,000 VIP day that I do, but I've decided to bring it to the masses, and you can check it out at www.cherylcperez.com/lead process bootcamp. Hope to see you in there. Now, let's get into this process, because it is really important for you to know that when you are going through this lead generation piece, that you can really have trouble if you don't have it automated. And that's really because, when you are a consultant or when you're a coach and you're in the process of scaling and executing in your business, it is oftentimes just you and maybe a couple of other team members. And you are in the grind of every day pumping out your services, pumping out your consulting projects, pumping out your coaching programs, meeting with clients, and you find it very, very difficult to just be on that lead generation feast-or-famine cycle. So this process is designed to consistently bring your qualified good leads into your business.
There it is! It's beautiful! Take your hat off, boy, that's a dollar bill!
Back in the day, I had to do the old school methods. I was knocking on doors, buying lists, buying email lists. It was insane. And now, after I instituted this lead process that I am going to be giving you today, and obviously in the boot camp, I can sit back and in my sleep generate over 200 leads per month. And what would 200 extra leads in your business do for you? Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. So let's dive into what these steps look like. And again, if you really want to get into the how and exactly what I'm talking about, join the Lead Process Bootcamp. So step number one is lead capture. All right, lead capture. This is where the actual process begins. And the goal here is to create an entry point for all of those leads that you've already gone through the attraction phase with. Now, attraction means that you are putting out and you are marketing and you are doing the things that you need to do to really get the attention of your ideal customer avatar and of those potential leads that really do have pain points and challenges that you can solve in your products, services, coaching programs, whatever it is that you're ultimately putting out there. And this is the part where you actually capture them. A lot of folks get confused when I say capture them, because if you are doing, for instance, social media management, or you are doing digital marketing, you're thinking, well, yeah, once they like my page or they follow me, I've captured them. And that's just not true. When I say I bring in over 200 leads a month into my business, I mean they are in my business. I have their contact information. information. So I can begin to develop a relationship and then ultimately offer what I have to solve their pain points and challenges and to get them to their ultimate wants and desires. So attraction is kind of a piece of this, and that's all of your marketing efforts, and that's a whole separate video. But you've got to figure out a way to capture them into your business. This is the entry point into this sales SOP, this sales workflow, and this lead generation workflow and this lead generation process, the entry point. So here's what you need to do. Number one, you need to attract your ICA by knowing them and marketing to them. You cannot market to an ideal customer or to a potential lead that would actually give you money for you to solve their pain points if it's not the ideal customer. If you don't know them, if you don't understand their pain points and challenges, if you don't understand who they are, if you haven't verified that their income levels can meet your price point needs. Oftentimes I see you guys coming to me and you're like, I think I need to adjust my pricing. And I'm typically like, no, you probably need to adjust your marketing, because there are people out there who can afford what you're charging. You're just attracting someone who can't afford it, and that is not your ICA. So you've got to attract them by knowing them and by marketing successfully to them. The second thing that you've got to do is to really create a valuable lead magnet or a freebie or something of real true value that they want to get their hands on. And oftentimes people say to me, you know, CP, you give away so much content. You give us so much in your videos. How is it that you can give us that stuff for free and not be charging us for it? And the reality is, honestly, I can give you so much value because I want to, because I want to help you grow and prosper. I want you to experience some type of transformation. I want you to get your ultimate goals and desires met by just working with my free content. Because when you do, if you feel like you are getting a ton of value from what I've given to you for free, you can't believe the impact that you will experience and how fast you will go if you actually participate in something that I charge for. And that's where the lead magnet comes in. You guys, especially if you're CPTVers, you know what I'm talking about. I will give away a checklist, a workbook, a resource, a free video, a training, an audio book, whatever it is, I will give it to you. And that is that lead magnet. It is designed to magnetize the right lead to you so that they can become a part of your business. So that first step is figuring out what type of lead magnet is really going to draw them into what product or service that you're offering, because you got to figure that out first as well. And then you got to create it. And there's so many ways to create it. You can do video, you can do audio, you can do PDFs, you can do checklists, workbooks, infographics. There's so many options out there. You just got to figure out the best one for you. And then you've got to ultimately create a clear and simple landing page to put that valuable lead magnet on. Now, when I say landing page, people say, well, is that the same thing that's something on my website? No, it is not a web page. It's a landing page. It is designed to capture them. It is designed to give them information about your valuable lead magnet that they might be interested in. And it is designed to have the right language on it that actually gets them to convert and give you their name and their email. Okay, because that is valuable currency nowadays. It is hard for somebody to get my direct email from me, especially my phone number, my cell phone number. It is hard. So if I give you my email, then that means that you have said something or you're giving away something that I really want and that I really truly feel can help me, and then I'm going to give you that hard-earned currency of my email address. And that's the exact same thing that you've got to do. So you got to create that lead magnet, you got to put it on a really good high converting landing page, and then you have to have a very strong call to action that tells them, hey, give me your email and I will email you over this valuable tool that you are looking for. And once you successfully do that, you have accomplished the first step in your leads process, which is to capture them. Now, step number 2 in this entire process is to nurture your leads. This is a very big mistake that I see a lot of entrepreneurs that are both starting out and also that are scaling or trying to scale make. They don't nurture the leads at all. They do not have any consistent way of building the know, like, and trust. And they stop giving away great value. They stop giving them information that can really help them experience some type of transformation once they've captured the information. automation. Well, you can't do that if you really truly want to be successful in ultimately the goal, which is to convert those leads into clients and customers. And the best way to nurture them is to make sure that you are continuing to build the know, like, and trust into who you are, how you can help them solve their pain points and challenges, and how you can continue to bring them value. So some of the key things that I think you should think about in this particular step is to use automated email sequences and email nurtures. Now, I have several extensive email nurture swipe files that I'm giving away in the Leads Process Bootcamp, and they range for all kinds of freebies and all kinds of lead magnets that I've used before. But I've got a core lead nurture that everybody that comes into my business goes through, and it involves getting to know me. It involves developing because it's very authentic, the messages, and it really does highlight my personality and kind of how I get down with my peeps once you're inside of my life. And then it also really does build trust because I continue to provide value. I continue to give away stuff. I continue to treat them very, very special because they are now CP insiders. They're on my VIP list and they get first dibs on everything. They get discounts on everything, and they get way more information and content than anybody else on the planet receives. So you've got to really truly create that email automated sequence. And I like for it to be automated because you ain't got time to be sitting around manually creating emails every single day. And if you're in the thick of building your business, if you're in the thick of taking on clients, if you're in the thick of trying to scale, or even if you're in the thick of trying to start, you're not going to have time for that. So that's why I say you have to have an automated email sequence that delivers that know, like, and trust. And in those emails, you want to continue to offer valuable content that relates to their pain points. And again, this goes back to knowing what their pain points are. Because again, if you don't know who your ICA is and know them in depth, and I mean a real true ICA profile, my average ICA profile is over 12 pages long because I need to know everything about my ICA in order to know if they are a good fit for what it is that I'm providing. And the most important piece of this know, like, and trust nurture that I see people really screwing up on is being consistent. Consistency is so important because it really can be the nail in the coffin of a relationship, right? It's kind of like when you think about it and you're dating someone and you guys first start dating and you're talking on the phone every single day, or you're texting each other all day long every day. And then all of a sudden there is crickets and you stop hearing from that person. Immediately your emotions shift and it goes from sadness. Well, first it goes from denial to sadness to anger, right? And you start to feel like you're being ghosted. That is no different for your leads. If you aren't consistent with delivering content and continuing to stay top of mind, it is going to be impossible for you to develop the know, like, and trust. It's actually going to do more harm than good. So being consistent, meaning sending emails regularly, making sure that you are keeping them in the loop on things that you know are important to them, and also keeping your promises and continuing to deliver them exclusive, valuable content is going to be critical. And if you don't have it planned out and you don't have this mapped out and you don't have a game plan and a content calendar figured out, you'll never be able to maintain that consistency. So step 2 is all about the nurture. And once you've mastered that, you are so good and ready for step number 3. Now, step number 3 in this lead generation process, my $1 million one, I'm telling y'all, it is perfection. And I can't wait to give it away in the boot camp. But step 3 is to convert. Yes, to convert. Finally, we have made it to the conversion part. And this is where all of your attraction, capturing, and nurturing efforts pay off. You need to, at this point, begin to guide your lead toward the path of being able to make a decision, right? To ultimately shit or get off the pot. So here's what you need to do in this particular step. First, once you get them through this nurture, and in the nurture, you're asking them to engage with you. So they're responding to you, they're shooting you reply email messages, or if you've got the right technology in place, which I'm also gonna go over and give you the skinny on in the boot camp, you will see what they're clicking, if they're reading, if they're opening, you can see all of that good data. And then you've got to kind of begin to provide them with a clear call to action. All right, now we've been working together, I've been sending you all of this stuff, you are ultimately engaged, which gives me a good indication that you really, really need this. So I've got the perfect thing for you. Now I want to make sure that you understand that I can give you something that is going to solve all of your problems, help you go faster in your reaching your goals, and help you ultimately get to a point where you can walk away and get this thing off of your plate. So you've got to provide them with that clear call to action that says, here's your solution. It is time for you to make a decision. So this then ultimately sends them into the next most important critical process that you need to have mapped out into your business, which is now your sales process. This is where your sales process and workflow and SOP picks up where your lead generation process leads off. And so there's a bunch of steps in that sales process, depending upon what type of coaching, consulting, or service providing business you have, or even if you're an online course creator and you're creating digital products and programs. I am all three. I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, and I am an online course creator, and I provide all of those different things inside of my business. And each of those sales processes are very, very different. And so now, after I have kind of nurtured them and completed the lead generation process, it is important for me to send them down that sales workflow in that sales process by giving them a call to action, creating a sense of urgency, being ready to address any objections or concerns that come up, and then focusing on closing the deal and actually converting them into being a client. So this is a very important piece, but this is ultimately how you convert. They go from the nurture into a kind of call to action into your sales process. Give them the opportunity to get even better. Give them the opportunity to solve even more problems, and ultimately give them the opportunity to work with you in some way, shape, or form. And that, my love, is step number 3. How you ultimately convert. Now, one of the biggest pro tips and CP impact tips I can give you really is encompassed in what I consider to be step number 4, and that is to automate and to scale, right? I am a huge automations expert. Bottom line. That's what I do. As an operations consultant, my primary unique value proposition is that I can not only help you create all of your operational needs, your structures, your strategies, your systems and processes, and your squads, but I can help you automate them. And that means that we are removing all of the ridiculous inefficiency, waste of time, manual labor that goes into all of your organizational SOPs, all of your organizational workflows. When things are done manually, it can be catastrophic. Number one, it wastes a ton of time. And if you are a solo consultant, solo entrepreneur, solo coach, solo service provider, solo online digital course creator, if you are doing it alone, or if you've only got one other team member or a very small team, then you are creating such an ineffective way to scale. It's not even funny. You actually won't be able to, because you are in the thick of manually doing things throughout your business. So you don't want to spend all your time manually handling every step of your process. You just can't. Now, some steps you have to do it manually. It's unavoidable. But most of them you can automate. Trust me, I've done it. Still do it. And there's where automation really does come in. So here's how you are going to effectively automate. Number one, I want you to begin to automate key tasks like your email follow-ups, the scheduling of your discovery calls and appointments. I want you to make sure that the follow-ups can go in there, the nurtures can go in there, the delivery of things can go in there. I want you to make sure that you can automate as much of that as possible. Number two, you also have to be aware of what your performance is and be aware of the KPIs and the metrics that you need to track inside of your automated workflows and funnels. You have to look at the numbers and see what's working and what's not, so that you can ultimately optimize that particular step and piece in your SOP in order to make it even better. And number three, you have to be able and be prepared to scale. And that means that as you are doing the lead generation process that we're going over today, and as you're attracting and as you're capturing, your email list, your VIP list is growing. And that allows you to be able to scale by continuing to provide those offers. So now it's a great circle. It's an amazing cycle. And then you can begin doing all kinds of cool things like ads, like paid ads that will really drive leads into your business. I have you guys come to me sometimes and you're like, hey, I want to do ads. Can I do ads? And I'm like, well, the before you start doing ads, let's make sure all of your processes are lined up, because once you start pouring money into ads and things start converting in volume and at high pace, the last thing you want is to attract and pay to have a whole bunch of leads coming into your business and you've got nothing in place to be able to capture and nurture and then ultimately convert them, which is why mapping out this lead generation process for your business is the first step. It's so critical. And you guys know I've been talking about your basic business critical processes forever, since the beginning of CPTV, and I've been saying the exact same ones this whole time, and the lead generation marketing one is really kind of that first step. So that's why I wanted to make sure I had the boot camp, because yeah, I think it's important for the volume of masses to have it. So definitely join me in there, because automation, scaling, that is what it's about. I am actually giving you all of my email swipe files, all of my nurture sequences. I'm just giving them away in the boot camp, and we're going to get yours done in 5 whole days. So hopefully you can join me in there. Hopefully. So let's recap what this entire process looks like. Get out your pencils. Step number 1, attract and capture. Step number 2, nurture the heck out of those leads. Step number 3, convert them into your sales process. And step kind of pro tip number 4, automate in order to be able to scale. Those are the real true steps that you need to follow in order to have a $1 million lead generation process and workflow in place. And again, if you follow these steps, you will have a scalable system that you could begin to delegate to other staff people as you grow your team. More and more of those steps, because it's automated, they can't mess it up. You can train them on it. It's just so much good stuff when you actually have this that will ultimately continue to bring you in more leads so that you can nurture them, you can convert them. And now you've got a non-feast or famine environment. You've got a feast environment, and your business can ultimately scale and bring you the life that you've always dreamed about. So again, click on the link in the description below. Go to CherylCPerez.com/lead process bootcamp to get in to my full-fledged coaching bootcamp. I will be on with you guys every single day, coaching you through this process and giving you all the deets. And make sure that you're there. I hope to see you in there. Check the link in the description and comments below. And again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to really start thinking about, what your lead generation process is or isn't doing, and implement the steps that I just gave you so that you can ultimately have one that makes your business shine. I will see you guys soon. Same time, same place next week. Bye-bye. Mwah! You an entrepreneur.